Hi, thanks for tuning into my official YouTube channel, Reverend MeeLing. I've been known by a few names: Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle, so on and so forth. So, I'm going to attempt to make this particular official YouTube channel video shorter because of well, I tend to go on a little bit. So I'm going to try to make it shorter so that way it's more easily understood and go off into the other sections, into other official YouTube videos. Anyway, so after forcing myself out of bed this morning, partially because of my headaches and migraines and partially other aspects, I went and took some stuff that I've been holding on to for my daughter to mail to my daughter. I know that there are people who thought that they had the slightest inclination of what was going on in my life and what I was doing for my son and my daughter. Obviously, they did not know, obviously. And so, I had called my son my panda bear, and I had called my daughter my koala bear. And so, in that, I would get my son panda bears, like little toy panda bears, and I would do what I could to find my daughter koala bears. It's very difficult to find koala bears in the United States of America because koala bears are native to Australia. And so I did what I could over the years while I was able to, actually be with my son and my daughter as a family after, whatever. But then there was that stuff because of McCoy Elementary School of Carrollton, Farmers Branch Independent School District of Carrollton, Texas. That whole thing because of the Fort Worth Zoo. But stuff before then. Anyway, I had kept as much as I could for my daughter, and usually when in reference to when I was still able to actually be more directly involved with my daughter and my son's lives, it was because it was so difficult to find certain things. I would get other things that my daughter enjoyed. So she was very much my daughter. So after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 and the effects of, my first pet was a ghost corn snake that I named Methuselah. My daughter, being very much like me, she liked animals that weren't necessarily considered the most normal for females. So she liked bats, and she liked pumpkins, and similar in certain regards, she liked stuff that was from Halloween, and she liked all of the holidays like I do. However, she very much being my daughter, far more in a lot of ways than some people realized at the time, she very much liked animals that weren't considered the norm, especially for females. And so I would get her, bats, because she liked bats, and I would get her, she just liked odd animals, and okay, I know where you get that from. That's all me. Definitely your mom's daughter, that is absolutely for certain. So I had gotten what I could over the years, and her other thing was she liked those roly-polies. those roly-poly mill bug circle things. They're really big in the state of Texas. And I had found, when out with her and her brother, it was at IKEA. And it was a roly-poly stuffed animal thing, but it had a zipper mouth, and you could put stuff in it. And she'd put all sorts of other stuffed animals into it. And, but she, very much my daughter, liking certain things that very different than the normal, quote-unquote, female would like. And so, when everything went as it had in 2013 and whatnot, I had made a quiet promise, because I don't always speak every thought out loud, nor do I put every thought into writing, as much as some people might prefer that. That being said, I had collected a bunch of koala bears and koala type of stuff, so that way one day I could hopefully give that to my daughter. Well, after receiving a few text messages and a few online messages, I sent the books that I had written to my daughter, because she is with my ex-in-laws. And not that they reached out to me ever, nonetheless. Is what it is on that regard. So I had mailed the koala bears to my daughter at my ex-in-law's house, with a quick little note of, you know, missing my daughter and that sort of stuff. So I mailed that off, and now I am on my way to just go walk around because of quite a few reasons. So, simply mailed it. I know that I could have driven out to Fort Worth to do that, but no, if my daughter wants to see me and speak with me, I'm not going to force that, obviously. And quite frankly, I don't need to be around my ex-in-laws at all, whatsoever. Not at all. I do not need to be near my ex-in-laws. I'll just leave it at that. I don't need to be near my ex-in-laws. Not my ex-sister-in-law, Susie Marie Nichols Lopez. Definitely not near my other ex-sister-in-law, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen. And I absolutely do not need to be near Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen's daughters, Sandra Marie Osteen or Ariel Marie Osteen, because of how similar to their mother that they are. It would not be a good situation. I will leave it at that. So, I did mail those koala bears off to my daughter, along with a name plaque that I had made for my daughter, similar to one that I had made for my son, because I have always been very different in certain regards. So I would make art projects for my children, you know, because that was my way of showing what, you know, I care as far as them about. And while I could not teach them in the more linear fashion of things, I was able to at least teach them in the more eclectic aspect of artwork. So, you know, my house in San Antonio, similar to my house in Carrollton, I painted their rooms different colors. I had put artwork up that I had made, as well as some that I had purchased over the years. I didn't get to keep, but that is what it is. And so they were able to do that and have that, as well as I taught them gardening and how to cultivate the land. So they did get certain linear aspects in regards to the biological aspects for botany. However, you know, as far as like the school stuff, well, after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 and the subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain, not the headaches and migraines portion, but the memory deficits and the cognitive disorders, and having gone from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math, I couldn't help them in the school stuff the same way. That's why I got them tutors, because I knew that I could not assist in that regard. So I sent a whole bunch of the koala bears, because I never stopped caring about my daughter, just like I still care about my daughter. I've never stopped caring about my son. I still care about my son. You know, I understand that they're doing their own stuff. I still miss them, still care about them. I still want the best for them. And that includes for myself as well. I don't deny that. But those who are parents that genuinely care about their child or their children, depending on how they've had, they do, just like I did, as best as possible, no matter what. So I've done everything that I could, and so I mailed off those koala bears and unicorn and a few other things that my daughter was really into that I had gotten over the years to you know, just be myself, right? So that is the official YouTube channel thing. Comment, like, share, and subscribe to my official YouTube channel. And I still miss my daughter, just as I still miss my son. And you guys have a good one.